and we are now above the, excuse me, we're now below the 50. So we came down on this fall. We broke the 9, we broke the 30, we broke the 50. We're coming back up to retest that. We got the rejection. We've got the 9 EMA pointing bearish. Could very well bear cross through the 30, pushing this even further. Bear cross through the 50, pushing that even further down. And we still have the 1 hour gap to get filled. So we've got some targets to the bottom. Now, it's not to say that we can't turn around and go higher, but let's look at market structure. So this is where I'm going to go ahead and take this off of here. And I want you to tell me really quick, guys, except JDM and except Texas Crypto and except Darth, what do you guys see? What do you guys see right away? What's that market structure look like to you? Let me get my chat box. Where's the chat box in here? Come on. I want somebody to answer me. That's one, but I'm not. Yep, there it is. There it is. Donuts. I forgot to exclude donuts. God damn it. It's an M, double top, guys, double top. So this is the problem with, this is a very strong market structure, a very bearish market structure. The same way this market structure is very strong when it's a double bottom, it's the same type of strength. And on top of the double top, we've got it, look at this, we've got it right here with the left side low higher than the right side, which is the complete opposite of the yeah, that's exactly what it's going to do. That's exactly, so it's a complete opposite of a perfect double bottom, where the left side is lower. This time the left side is higher. So if I take these markings off, where do you guys see the completion? Where do you guys see the completion of the double top? Anybody? What's the completion of that double top? Could it be here? Or could it be here? Alarm. Nope, not on my alarm. It's actually right here. It's actually right here. 61.52 is the completion of this double top right here. So if you follow this structure right here, at no point did we go up and create a move to the upside until we get to the tip here. Then we actually had a lower high. We went inside of a lower high. No time in here at all. We kept it really, really tight. Same exact rules as when we have a W. We look at that inner wall and we make sure that the moment that we have a candle that gives us a move to the upside, gives us this little hollow here, that's how we know that this is the tip of that market, of that double top, better said, in this case. So 61.48 is what I'm looking to close this double top, and it's looking really, really likely that it will. Let me look at it. Oh yeah, look at it. Look at the. Actually, you know what, guys? I think I actually stand corrected on this. On the daily, it gives me a much better look. And what I thought might have been the end here, actually might be here. Might be here. If you look at the daily has a much cleaner structure. And I was wrong on previously saying 60. Shit. Mr. Mo, are you there? Are you guys still there? Hello?
Yes, I hear you.
Oh yeah, I just got an error. Hold on, give me 1 second. Connection request from 000 to connect to this device. Make sure. Okay, no, I guess
we're good. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Let me just hit cancel here. I thought it was from it's from something else. Something's trying to connect to my computer through Bluetooth. Give me 1 second. Nothing should be connecting to my computer.
Oh, it could have been your earpiece for a moment, because you use that as a microphone, right?
Okay.
Yeah, so maybe the Bluetooth disengaged.
Oh, okay. All right. All right, guys. So on the daily, I actually have a much better look, and the ending of that double top is going to be right in here, right in the 5,800 area. So let's see. You know what? I want to do this. Let me snap the line. Oh, you know what? I can't snap the line without this coming back. Okay, so that's the lower low. All right, I'll use that as my pointer. I just want to see how it looks on the 3-day. Give me a second on the oh, but it doesn't have the, yeah. All right. No. Let me see what this looks like. That's the 3-day. Okay, so we're back below the 9 EMA on the 3-day. We're back, we're way below. Okay, so we started our descent from that bear flag. Yeah, guys, it doesn't look good for me. I know everybody wants, they're dying for me to say, yes, we're going up, we're bullish. It's nothing about this still has changed my mind. We may have these little bullish moves to the upside, but those are, you know, those are not something you should be longing. If you guys want to be scalping and you know how to scalp and you understand the properties of scalping, go for it. But a lot of you guys don't. Really, a lot of you guys, and I'm not trying to make you feel bad. I'm not trying to insult you guys. I'm just telling you, just because some of the comments that I read, when you're thinking of going long and you're supposed to be scalping, it tells me you're not doing it. You know, you're not having that proper mindset. You're thinking of a long. A scalp is you're in and out in a matter of hours, not even overnight. You're out really quickly. Nothing here, guys. Nothing here looks bullish to me. Nothing here says that we're going to 8,000. I see a lot of tweets in the past week and a half. Everyone's calling for $8,200. So they're calling for this right here. They're calling for the top of here. If we hit the top of here, we invalidate the flag. So that's I mean, that to me, that's hopium. I don't see anything in the market structure that's telling me that we're going to hit 8,200, which will be right here. If we hit it, we invalidate this, and yeah, and then I can say yes. But looking at this structure here, I don't see it. I don't see where all these people are getting $8,200. I'm still maintaining this bear flag. This bear volume divergence is still in play in my book. I wish I can give you guys some for you hopiums some better news, but everything. I mean, even now the daily and 12-hour with these double tops just doesn't look good. I don't have anything. I mean, look, even on these lower time frame like the daily, you can see the volume decline on volume. Look at this huge raise in price action with declining volume. That is not a healthy move. That is not a healthy move. So I unfortunately don't have anything for the hopiums. Let me look here. Let me look at the 4 hours so I can find something to give you. God, we're even below the 200. We're below all EMAs on the 4 hour. All right, let's look at the hour. Fuck. No, sorry guys, not today. Not today. You guys are gonna have to put your hopium away. Yeah, nothing here looks good. Look at that. Look at that volume just going down, and look at this price action rising. Even on the shorter time frames, we have bear volume divergences. They're just, it's not good at the moment, guys. So Bitcoin, I'm still looking for downside. I know I sound like a broken record, but nothing's changed. Nothing has changed other than what Twitter's saying, but I'm not going by what Twitter's saying. If Twitter can show me on the charts why they think that, all I see is people drawing the lines to 8,200, but they don't give me any reason, any sign at all, any market structure, nothing at all is pointing to 8,200 bucks. And just as a tip, guys, when you draw a magnet on your chart, it doesn't mean it's going to go up. So if that's what you're looking at as a sign, you guys are doing it wrong. So they can put as many magnets and rocket ships as you want. That's not a reason for it to go up. So unless they can prove to me, show me something that I'm not seeing, I'll be more than happy to change my bias if I can see it in the charts. But as of right now, you know what? Let me look at this. Let me look at the Ichimoku cloud. Let's look at a different set of tools. Fuck, it still looks like crap. We're at the bottom. We're at the resistance of the cloud. We're at the bottom of that cloud. Let me look at the Bollinger Bands. You know, actually, let me go to the higher time frames because I don't care about the 1 hour. That doesn't mean nothing to me. Let's see here. What are we doing here? Wow, we lost the middle Bollinger Band. We topped out on the top. We came back down. Now we lost support of the middle. So that's not good. So let's look at the daily real quick here. Can you give me something? Nope. Underneath, we lost the support again of the middle Bollinger Bands. Let me look at my other MA tools. Give me 1 second. Stoch RSI down. MAs. Let me look at the MAs real quick. Let me see here. 9 MA. The price action below the 30 MA. We've got the 50 MA crossing bear through the other ones. We've got a bear cross between the 100 and the 200 MA coming up soon on the daily. Look at that. You can already see it's arching over. So here, you can see here where it crossed bullish, and right here on this candle, look, line it up. Look what happened when she crossed bullish right here. Big ass candle. She's about to cross bearish. What do you think is going to happen? Another green candle? You guys will love looking at this and looking at this green candle, but you don't want to hear a red candle going to match the downside of that. And that's the opposite effect. This is the effect of a bull. Now watch the effect of a bear. That should hopefully bring us down closer to the completion of this double top. And that's pretty much it for Bitcoin, guys. Nothing for the bulls. Everything is in the hands of the bears at the moment on all time frames. From the 1 hour to the weekly, bears are dominating the market at the moment. So we'll see if by tomorrow morning it may look different. Maybe there's a case in some time frame that can give us a case for the bulls, but not today. Let's take a look. I really want to take a look at oil. Give me 1 second, Mr. Mo. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna have you go over oil with us, because that was just an incredible, crazy ass drop. Kind of talk us through it.
Historic.
What's going on
Today was a historic day in markets. We saw oil basically crash and collapse. But it's important to understand that what we are looking at also is WTI crude oil. So if you want to look at it on a chart, type in WTI crude. It'll show up as U.S. oil, right? And
yeah, that's it right here.
And just let's just put a little bit of context to this. So we have been following in the community a couple of things. We follow Bitcoin, we follow gold also as a store of value, and we also do the comparison between gold and Bitcoin. But we also look at oil, energy, right? Energy makes things turn, makes the world turn, makes the world go round. So energy today, I mean, it was this was such an incredible moment, because on this chart, this is USO. So what you're looking at on your screen is as an ETF that's available. That's what you can buy. But can you go to WTI crude on your platform for just 1 moment?
Sure.
And
WTI.
yeah, because that tells the whole story of oil. Yeah, there you go, right there. Beautiful. And then just yeah. So just zoom out, and we're going to look at, this is going to go back to 1984. Yeah, around there. Okay. So this is WTI crude. So basically the price failed at $10 and we broke under it. It went under. Now, the question is, what the hell happened? So this is basically a result of the market having, number one, the world is basically frozen, right? Transportation has stopped. It's come to a halt. Business is shut. We're inside a quarantine, but they're still pumping. And what you need to do is you have to take that oil and you have to be able to store that oil. So storage is moving towards capacity right now, and that's becoming a bit of a problem. So the demand for oil fell and price just pretty much collapsed. Now, looking at the futures contract, the May contract is coming up soon. I think it is going to expire. I think the expiration date. Texas Crypto, do you know the expiration date for the futures contract? If you do, just post it into the chart.
I think it was tomorrow.
It's tomorrow. Okay, Delavies, yeah. Okay, if it's tomorrow, so that's why you saw this dump out. The current price, so this is more of a paper issue. that's happening in the market, but physical oil right now is still in the mid 20s. It's possible that oil can continue to move to the downside. I want to read you through just some of the headlines that I'm looking at, and you could read some of these headlines at oilprice.com also, which is a good site that kind of tracks the narrative of oil, also lets you see what's happening there. I'm going to put it in the chat for one moment, so if you guys want to follow along too. But basically, now that that has happened, Russia is racing to squeeze out U.S. out of Asian natural gas markets. That's one headline. Another is China doubles rate of crude oil stockpiling as oil falls below $0. So I think in the next couple of days, we're going to see more of these stories. I do think that we're seeing pressure for oil as a result of what's happening with OPEC, what's happening with China, Russia. It really sent a shockwave down. As a result, also, we saw the Dow lose about 600 points. Let me just confirm that. Yeah, 592 points. The Dow came down. S&P came down about 51%. 51 points. Only 1.7%. Historic day. I mean, it really is. This is something that we've never really seen before. And we don't know what the result or what the repercussions of this is going to be. I think we're going to need a little bit of time for this to play out, but it was a shocker, man. It really was a shocker. I can't tell you how many messages and DMs and phone calls I got, and everyone was just like, "What the hell is going on?" And watching CNBC today, just trying to hear out some of the different views. It definitely felt like there was a concern. Could this be something that leads to war? It's possible. I mean, technically, we are in a war when you really think about it, because we've been in this trade war for a while now. And I wouldn't be surprised if that this is about, if U.S. oil gets knocked out, it will signal the potential of a superpower. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're cutting in and out.
Okay, so I don't know if it's my connection or your connection, but I'll keep going. If you can't, then we'll figure it out then. Yeah. Yeah, they are. This is we're still in a trade war, technically, and I think that whoever controls oil, of course, they control it. Could we see down the road a decoupling of the U.S. dollar from oil? Possible. There's many things. There's many different possibilities, but I think we will start to see the narrative unfold inside of the next 3 months. We're going to get a much clearer picture. Also, what's going to happen with the country in terms of, will we remain in quarantine? Will we lift the quarantine? Are we close to? To me, we do have to be careful on how we reopen, but we do need to reopen. But we need to make sure that we have some fundamentals. To me, make sure you have testing and tracking. If you have that, great. I'm not sure what the challenge is across the U.S., but
but that's not realistic, cousin. That's not realistic. Testing is not for another year. We can't stay closed for a year.
Well, no, not test. Testing is already being done, but we need to scale testing. That's the challenge. For another year, you're talking about more about getting a vaccine to be able to put in the market, put people at ease, and go. You need herd immunity, right? Which basically just means 60% of the population has to have a vaccination of some kind, which is what we normally have with influenza. 60% of our population gets it. Once we have that, we have herd immunity. It stays low, and we're okay. But we just have to figure out a way to get the testing and the tracking. I think the tracking the technology is there to do it, but we still have to get past privacy advocates and some of those laws, and we got to figure out how to anonymize the data, number one, and then number two, making sure that there's a legal framework that you don't commercialize that data. That once that's done, that they put that to rest, but you know the temptations that come after that. So for me, testing and tracking is first. If we can, the sooner that we get to that, the sooner that I think we get a turnaround. Dr. Tal, does the fluctuation in short-term price have an influence on the contractual requirements? Don't these companies lock in contract signs years ago? Are you're referring to what's happening in oil, Dr. Tal, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So, you know, look, the reality is this. This is not, we've never had a pandemic like this before. Well, I shouldn't say that. We had the Spanish flu, but for our generation, with a transportation system, with with capitalism, all, just commerce and trade all over the world, this has never happened before. We've never had our transportation completely shut down. We've never had oil crash like this. With the way the world. So, it's a great question. I just don't know. I don't know. We could sit here and speculate how this affects the short-term price, but the reality is, until we figure out the way forward through this whole the wild card, in other words, the wild card in this is COVID-19. That's the wild card. So it's hard to. I think it's a little bit hard to answer that. I do think we eventually come out of this. We do get past this. I just don't know how long it's going to take. Is it going to take a month, or is it going to take what's the worst case scenario? It takes 18 months to get to a vaccine, where they go through the discovery, the testing, the approval, and then the distribution into the entire our entire population. That's our worst case scenario, an 18th month runway. Or does it happen faster? Maybe we get our testing and tracking in order. I think that's the way through, because what you have to do is you have to filter, right? So you know how we go through the airports and we have to go through a security check and through the metal detectors, right? That's what we need for the testing, immediately. That way, everyone who tests negative, send them into the workforce. Send them right into the workforce, and anybody who has positive, send them into quarantine. I think we have to get to that pretty soon. If not, we run the risk of, I think, really damaging some infrastructure. So
I agree with you.
Yeah. So if we're not careful, I think we really need to make sure that whatever it is, I do think also this stimulus package 1, 2, 3, and 4, I get it. But I would be planning for worst case scenario. If you have to, man, freaking turn on UBI for a year and then shut the damn thing off. And because the last thing we want is 20 million or even say 45 million people who are unemployed and can't eat. That's not a good thing. That's not a good thing. The testing of antibodies right now, I know New York is going full blast on that right now. Dallas is saying need to do antibody testing. Completely agree. Randomized sampling of various populations throughout the country, like yesterday. Yeah, we need a lot more of that going on right now. I just don't know why it feels like we're dragging our feet on that. And considering that there's other countries that are performing better, and I know that people like to look at the metrics a little bit different on a per capita basis, but the way I look at it is this: there's close to 40,000 people who have died inside of the U.S. To me, in my mind, that's 10 9/11s. To me, that's enough for me. I don't need to see it to go to 100,000, 200,000, or even a million in this country. The unfortunate part is we will see bigger numbers, I think, being put in the underdeveloped countries that don't have infrastructure, that don't have clean water. I think Africa is going to be an issue. I think Latin America may be an issue. And of course, India is going to be an issue because of the size of their population. So they might see numbers in the millions. And that for us, that's still not, it's not good, but I'm trying to wrap my head around the narrative of all of this and how it affects. But I will say this, just looking at, I always post a gold chart and Bitcoin chart. we kind of just been hanging on. We've been hanging on. I do think that I do welcome some downside to on Bitcoin. We do, when we look at the heat maps also, I do see that, there's some large orders down there. And if there's some opportunities there, then I think, you should have orders to the downside. But oil is, I think oil will, the narrative for oil will continue this week. We're going to see what the shock waves. Today was the initial punch. I think the rest of the week, we're going to see those shock waves, what gets affected by that. How are you seeing it? I mean, how are you seeing anything on Twitter, BC, that's making you that do you get a sense? Oh, the other thing is that on Twitter they're sitting there and they're shorting it also. They're shorting oil. So this is I think an issue of capacity with storage of oil. It's also shorting with leverage. People are playing that game. Uranium is the new oil, Dornet said. Oh my God, man. Actually, yeah, we should probably look into that. But if we could barely manage oil right now, I'm a little skeptical with uranium right now. I can't imagine us dealing with uranium right now. Let me see if there's anything sticking out on I'm gonna just check futures for a moment. In markets, yeah, futures are basically sitting sideways. It looks like the Nikkei is okay. It looks like Europe may have a bearish day. Let me just go to energy for a moment. Yeah, it looks pretty nasty. It looks pretty nasty. So yeah, historic day for oil, man. Just incredibly historic. I'm still digesting it.
It's really cool because like I've never been part of this whole
Yeah.
Stock and equities or anything like that. So for me, I was talking to Mr. Mo about it earlier because I didn't know, should I buy US oil? And when he starts to breaking it down, because the last thing I want to do is buy it, and I don't know if these companies are going to get dissolved. If they're like shit coins, or one day, one day they get delisted and there goes all your money. Because like I said, this is my first time dabbling into these new markets, and just like with Bitcoin, there's a lot of research that you have to do, and there's a lot of uncertainty. So one of the things that I think for now, as I get more familiar with stocks, and a lot of you guys are kind of in the same boat as me, is I'm going to stick to stocks that I feel comfortable with, stocks that I feel are going to be around. So companies like Boeing, companies like Bank of America, companies like Disney, companies like Netflix, Google. I think I'm going to stick with those, which is almost like kind of my strategy of what I do with crypto, the top, the big market caps, and I'm gonna leave the shit coins alone, just like I do in crypto, just because I don't know them enough.
Yeah, you understand the brands that you mentioned.
Yes.
And that's what everyone has to understand. That when you invest in something, you should understand the asset, or you should understand the brand, what that brand is, and whether you believe that brand has value. BC, I want to say one thing I do want to look at is I want to look at ETFs. So I just posted in the chat room, or I don't know if you want me to send it to you on Discord. If you could just bring it up on your screen.
Okay.
And
to me, you put it on the
Zoom chat.
On the chat, Zoom chat. Okay, let me
on the
look
bottom. Yeah. So the reason why I want to bring this up also is because today I posted. I just notified everyone because everyone was asking about oil. Right. The attention went to oil. We saw oil basically, fall onto the floor, and everyone's figuring out how to buy oil. So you can't buy the oil direct. You can buy them through these ETFs. Right. So the ETFs. There's a couple of ETFs that are focused just on oil, and I do think that these are some of the things. If you are interested in oil, then this is the list that you need to look at. And some of these you can get, and they are available on applications like Robinhood. So if you have a Robinhood account, you could buy USO. If you have any one of these. So an ETF, exchange traded fund. So they basically putting these in a basket and making them available. So if you do have interest, then you want to take a look at these. Do a little Googling, do a little research, just so that you understand the basics, the fundamentals. But this is, it's this nastiness, this blood that you've got. All of you guys, everyone in the community has been watching this for the last year or two. And when you see that blood come in, you know what
we
the
get
deal
excited,
is, guys.
yeah, we get excited. Yep, yep.
So go.
Yeah, go ahead. And like I said, I feel like we were talking, you and I were talking earlier. I feel comfortable with buying stocks now. I really do, because I feel comfortable with the TA. What I don't feel comfortable is buying something that I don't know, and I've never followed oil. So I just don't, I have a lot of uncertainties. Like, for instance, I'm ready to buy silver. And I would never have thought of that, but it wasn't. But it was because of Texas Crypto Guy giving us all the education on silver and posting the charts and kind of making us aware of it and following the story, that I feel very, very comfortable buying silver. I feel comfortable buying gold. I'm comfortable. I'm not buying gold right now, but I feel I want to wait for it to drop. But I do want to start buying in companies that I feel comfortable, just like we do with crypto.
Yeah,
just like we do with it. And I think it's important that we all are not listening to Twitter and are doing our own research and are making sure that we feel comfortable with what we buy.
Yeah, you have to be comfortable with what you are investing in, and again, just understanding how this works. Looking at some of these ETFs, looking at Alex makes somebody made a point regarding some of the fees. Alex, read up on the fees involved with these ETFs. Yep, they're wide ranging. So always, making sure you always look at the fees of what you're getting yourself into. But I do think that oil may see a little bit more downside. And so if your strategy is maybe to do a little accumulation in energy, so you should be paying attention to energy right now. I think it would, again, guys, this is never easy, because buying a down market and buying the uncertainty and buying the blood is tough. It is never, ever, ever easy. Also, the other thing is, looking at energy and looking at oil, you can expect that some of these companies, this market is going to consolidate. So we may see some failures. So that's something that you have to be mindful of. GQ saying perfect time to start looking to get some diversification. Absolutely, GQ. I think having a diversification strategy is a must right now. You have to be diversified. If you're not diversified, if you're putting all your eggs in one basket, then you're running the risk that if that stock or that asset goes, you're out of the game. So again, which is why I posted on the announcement, make sure you take the proper position size, because everyone sees oil at, on the floor, and they want to go all in. And it's like, no, don't go all in. Don't go all in on something, because we don't know how this is going to play out yet. If you take little bites right now, that's okay. You got to take a bite and feel comfortable to say, you know what, I'm going to try a little bit of this. If this goes, then it goes. But if I'm right and this does well, then that can be game changing. But so this list of ETFs for oil is in the Discord community. It's also I put it in the energy channel as well as my channel. Take a look through it. I think it'll be a wonderful exercise that everyone just go through it. Just become a little bit familiar with it. But here's the other thing. No doubt in my mind, everyone in our community is going to be sharing this story in the future. Do you remember when oil crashed? This is freaking historic, man. It is so historic, man. Unbelievable. An incredible time to be alive, right? And an incredible time for markets too, because it doesn't require us to go into a time machine and go back to 1929.
Yeah, we got those prices now.
1929 is coming to us right now.
And you know what? Something I learned interesting today, guys. Me and Mr. Mo shared with me that I don't know if you guys know, but you know how we've been looking at the stock market and how some of these, right now we're going through a bounce, and we all know that 382 is not a retracement. Well, Mr. Mo pointed out that whenever you see oil drop like this, usually is followed by a drop in the stock market. So
Yeah.
that's why I've been posting so many of those stock charts and those entries at 886. We're not there at 886. We're at 382. We're at 0.50. So those 886 entries that I've been posting with the percentages, and I put my entries at those low levels, guys, we got a good chance of hitting those.
Yes.
So don't rush in. Remember, this is month 4. This is month 4 of a retracement, and an average retracement is about 18 months. And Mr. Mohad, we were discussing, this one may be different in the sense that it might be a little bit quicker, but it's still looking at towards the end of the year. So it still will be like December or January before it really bottoms out. So don't rush into it. I know it's tempting, but treat it just like you do crypto. We know our fibs, we know our retracements. The principles are exactly the same. It's just a different vehicle, and it just takes a little bit longer for those to come down. So if you guys have been requesting some really good companies that I didn't even think about, that I'm glad you guys are requesting it, because it's giving me ideas and building my own portfolio. But and I appreciate you guys for that. And so let's look forward to that, guys. Start diversifying. Same things we're doing with Binance. Just go to TD Ameritrade, Robinhood. They're real easy accounts to open up. You can do it right off of your phone, and we can start. I would love to know what you guys start building your portfolio. Once I start buying some of these stocks and they hit my levels, I'm going to share with you guys. So I'm going to probably open up a little room, Mr. Mo, a little sub channel with the assets that I'm buying and where I'm buying them. And just to kind of share with everybody, and if you guys want to do the same and share what you guys are buying, that'd be great too, just so we can all feed off each other.
Yeah.
This is
Put
new
them
for
in
me as well.
in the stock chart. Put yours in your stock updates, and then everyone else can feel free to post them in the stock charts. I think there's some really great ideas there that people have been posting. So we'll start filling that up with some of these requests that are coming in. We'll put them in there, look at them. I do think we have a nice little window for being able to find some of these, right? Do the technical analysis, do a little bit of homework, and then start to figure out which ones would actually go nice into a portfolio. So you know what? I'm actually pretty excited about like the next 3 months of doing this whole exercise and building out all of us the exercise of building out portfolios, finding stocks, finding assets, putting them into a portfolio, and going through that entire process. Because once you have that, guys, that's it. It's just basically a rinse and repeat after that. Old School was also including that Cash App is also another application that you guys use. So if you have Cash App, you could buy some of the stocks with. But GQ, brother, I completely agree. Opportunity of a lifetime we're in right now. It is bittersweet because, again, we hope that everyone is good, they're safe, and that we get through this, and we empathize for the people who are going through a lot of the pain, a lot of the struggle. I want to emphasize that. But also on the other end of it, looking at this market, these are rare occurrences. So if you missed 2008 during the financial housing crisis, then this is something that you really need to consider spending a little bit of extra time in terms of the education, being informed, being part of community, sharing ideas, going back and forth, and then slowly we can say, you know what? These are the stocks, these are the tokens, these are the assets that I'm going to be holding for, whatever your plan is. If it's for a year, or maybe a free position, or maybe it's going to be something like this, where you imagine putting $1,000 into Amazon in 2000, and 2 years later you have $200,000 with some of these. That's what it's equivalent to. I don't know which ones. That's what we're trying to figure out. And that's why the
Mhm.
diversification is so incredibly important, because you don't need all of them to really run. You just need just a few of them to run, and it becomes a game changer.
Yeah.
So,
And moving forward, guys, if when you guys, since most of us, we're obviously we're going to continue to trade crypto, try
yeah,
to have a plan, put a plan together that if we're working for a free position, if you guys get a free position, maybe take half of that free position and put it back into crypto, and take the other half and put it aside for your stock portfolio. This way you don't have to introduce new money. You can use your existing money, work hard to grow that, and buy stocks with free money, basically with other people's money. Because remember, when you get a free position, you basically took somebody else's money. You thought it was a good idea to sell when somebody else thought it was a good idea to buy. So you're using other people's money to diversify into a different asset, and you can easily start increasing that this way. And when it comes to it, you don't have to pull from your savings, or you don't have to pull from another source. You got a great source with crypto that can very well fund your stock portfolio. Very, very well. I'm not saying take all of your profits, but take a good amount. If you get a free position on something that you didn't think you were going to get sooner than you thought, take half of that. Put it aside. Put it little by little. Put it aside and start building that portfolio. That's what I'm doing. I'm taking free positions and parts of certain portfolios and allocating it to that, and just sticking it. Don't keep it in crypto either, guys, because you know how tempting that is. You know how tempting. When I say take it out, I mean transfer it to Robinhood or transfer it to TD Ameritrade. Don't leave it in Binance and be like, okay, this is for stocks, because you know you're gonna spend that shit really quick, real quick.
that's
Look,
right.
yeah, a bird on Twitter told me this is the next best up and coming. Just let me put some money on this, and then before you know it, your money is gone again.
Yeah,
So just make
yeah.
sure you guys have a plan.
Rick,
You know what?
Rick is saying Disney. He's looking at Disney and Tesla. So
Me too,
Disney,
Rex.
yeah, I think those are great brands. Those are great companies. Disney right now though is going through, it's going through its pain. So it's gonna I guess let go of about 100,000 people, and until they can open up their parks and all the other businesses. And Disney's a business built on group gatherings, right? When you think about it, right?
Mm-hmm.
The parks are group gatherings, but also their media properties, right? They own a lot of sports, ESPN, ABC. That's all based on sports, people coming together in stadiums, group gatherings. That they're taking a beating on that. They're taking a beating on
Mm-hmm.
that. But I do think that Disney going through this is going to price will come down. Price, I think, is going to come down once we get through, and once we have a clear understanding of what the end result for how we're going to deal with COVID-19. Because I'm sure they're not going to run and open up the park fast, because that would be a bigger liability for them, especially if people, unless Disney is talking about testing and tracking, right? Maybe if they test someone, they could reject somebody, but the test would have to be incredibly fast for that to happen, and I don't think it happens that fast right now. So the one good thing for Disney is that they were able to turn on Disney Plus streaming at the end of last year and build up a subscriber base. They're still going to take a loss on that for a little bit, but I think in terms of the future, streaming is going to wind up being an even bigger part of their business, realizing that events like this, they need those things to
Yep.
be
And
able to.
here's Disney on the screen too.
Yeah,
I'm sharing
yeah.
the chart. Look,
So
guys.
we're sitting at 102.
Yeah, we're saying 102, but look, more importantly, we're sitting at 382, guys. We're sitting at 382.
Wow.
We're at 1, 2, 3, 4 candles. We barely started. You know this. You guys all know what's going to happen. You guys recognize the market structure. We're
Yeah.
going to be pumping up, creating these lower highs, coming back down, pumping it up, just like we do with Bitcoin. We're like, oh my God, is she going to turn around? Well, let's take a look at the levels. Look at this. We easily can make it to 886, guys. And just think about this move back here. Think about the move, the low that it put out here in 2002. She was at, what was she here? She was at
$14.
Yeah, she was at right here, low $13.46. She moved all the way back up to put a high of 32 bucks, and then went all the way back down.
And she gave it back.
Yep, she gave it back, and 15 bucks. She came $2
Wow.
close of going down. So when you look at these levels here, guys,
shit, that's an opportunity of a lifetime, dude.
Yeah.
When price comes down there, to be able to buy Disney at like that low, if the opportunity presents itself, that's stunning, man. That really is stunning.
Look, she made it to 886. The last collapse, guys, the last collapse, she bounced right at 886. Right at 86, she filled the last gap. She wicked a little bit further down. It's okay. We don't care about the bottom. Yeah. We're okay.
That's the housing crisis right there. What you're looking at. So the housing crisis, we put her in the top, and then she comes down. She retraces, to 16 bucks. That's where she put in the bottom. You know what? Can you measure the date?
Yes.
And how many days did that take to do that retracement on that?
Yep, that's a good idea.
That's something that that's something that we
this to this 671 days. Wow. 671 days.
So that's
let's see.
What are we looking at? We're looking at a monthly chart. That's 22 months. That's 22 months. 22 bars.
So right now we're at 152 days, guys. Last time it took 671 days. We're at 152 days. So when we say be patient, we mean be patient. You've got to be patient. These things. This is not. Remember, guys. This is not a slot machine. This is not a game in Vegas, guys. This is investing. This is long-term investing, and you need to have that patience. You know what? Netflix did such a good documentary. I remember Mr. Mo turned me on to it to Warren Buffett. Remember that documentary you have to watch?
Yep.
And it really shows you an insight. I know a lot of us don't like Warren Buffett because of the stuff he says about crypto, but you know what? You cannot discount the man's he's a genius when it came to the stock market. And he emphasizes it over and over and over again. It's just patience. He'll sit on the sidelines for years. He's like, nope, I'm not going to buy it. I'm going to wait. And he has built an empire by waiting. While the rest of us lose our empires waiting, he's building it. Building it. So seeing Disney at 30 bucks again, guys, seeing the Disney at 25 bucks is not out of the, it's a total possibility. Nice return. And remember, guys, these returns that I have here, I only did it based on the data points that we have here. So the all-time highs. It doesn't mean that it can't run higher than this. I just wanted to give you guys a realistic expectation that even if we just go to all-time high, how much ROI that is. So, and I'm sure it's going to surpass it. Just like if you look at a chart, how it continues to climb and get higher and higher and higher, there's no reason why we can't go. I just didn't want to speculate and be like, okay, this can do 1,000%, this can do 10,000%, when we don't have the data to back that up. I'd much rather use actual data that we have that we can physically look and say, yeah, we can hit all-time high again, and what that ROI can be.
Can you look at momentum on Disney? I just want to see what the RSI is pointing at on points.
She's down at 41 points right now.
Yeah, she still has time to go down. So when you zoom into that's MACD. Yeah, so she's gonna come down, go back to momentum. Yeah, she has enough room to continue downwards, I think.
Yeah.
She's gonna come down some more.
Look at that. Look, guys, this is the floor here for the MACD. Does she still have time? She still have time right there, guys? Look at that. She's got plenty of time. Remember, this is the monthly. So each one of these ticks is a month. So don't think that this is something that's going to happen right away. You guys got plenty of time to make money in crypto to fund this.
Yeah. You have a couple. I think you have a couple. We have a nice window and this goes back to, I just want to pick up off a question. So from Caius, I think is how you pronounce his name. If not, just please correct me. Mr. Mo, might be too early, but when do you think the market will turn around? Will it bleed into 2021? That's a great question. So we post a Dow update chart. Actually, let me grab it real quick, and and you can, if you can bring it up, BC. I just put it in the chat.
Okay.
And just to answer that question, we're going to look at the Dow, and we're going to look at previous crisis. So the previous crisis was the housing financial crisis, and the crisis before that was September 11. So when we look at those previous crises, we see that it took about a 17-month window, so about a year and a half, for the market to actually find a bottom on the housing crisis. And when we look at September 11, the events of September 11, it was about the same. It was about a 17-month window until we found that bottom. So basically, when you look at the Dow and you look left, right, we always want to look left. And it doesn't mean that that's going to happen this time around, but it gives us an idea of how long this takes. It doesn't take a week or a month. It takes longer for these things to play out. But I do think that we probably still need to check the 100 EMA and most likely the 200 EMA. So I do feel that we do have some more downside to go for this. As long as there is no vaccine available, that to me is one of the fundamental driver that will continue to push price down. I could see the scenario more of maybe inside the 100 and the 200 EMA for on the Dow there, but you also have to look at some of these stocks. So if you're looking at Boeing, or if you're looking at transport, those things are on the floor. So could you take a position in them? Of course you can. Yeah. Are they getting bailed out? Yes. Are they going to go away? No. Are they recognizable brands? Yes. Right. You go down a list of questions that make sense to you, and then you say, okay, what am I comfortable with here? And then you figure out what the play is. I'm going to hold this until whatever I get a free position, or I'm going to hold this for 10 years, whatever the plan is. And then you lay that out, and then the rest is just the execution of it and making sure that you stick to your plan. What happens when you don't stick to your plan, BC?
You get wrecked. You get wrecked. Look, Mr. Mo, I want to point something out. So based on your chart that you had on the downside from the 9/11 attacks, and in this, look, guys, we had pumps on the way down of 25%.
Yeah,
that's a huge pump for the stock market. Yeah. That is huge pump. Nothing goes down in a straight line. Look at this one, 32%.
What's 32%. The last candle? What's the last candle that we put in? I think that's actually the last green candle on the Dow is. It's got to be what? Hang on, let me scroll over it.
Let's see here. It is 17%.
That's
nowhere
17%.
near.
Yeah, 17%
nowhere
candle.
near some of these pumps.
Yeah.
Look at these pumps, guys. Coming down before she bottomed out, she had 23%, 27%, 32% pumps.
Yeah.
And yet it was on a downward trend. So when you see a little green candle, 17%, you cannot get that excited. I mean, even in the financial collapse, we had days, this is a monthly chart. We had months that we went 13%. Look, 4 months straight ahead. How many people you think this didn't think in month 1, month 2, month 3? For 4 months in a row, it's going up 13%. And look, she came right back down. She came right back down, just like she does in crypto. Look, forming lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows. She's not gonna look. We haven't even formed our first lower high yet. This is probably going to be our first lower high. Our first one. And people already want to buy. People are like, "Can we buy? Is it ready to go? Come on!"
Are we turning around? You know what? Texas Crypto makes a good point. He says it's basically 2018 BTC, which is funny
Yes.
because we got to see the top of crypto, right, in 2018, and now in 2020 we're seeing the top of the Dow.
Yes.
So 2018 crypto trained you to come into the market, to learn technical analysis, to go
Holy
all that
shit.
heartbreak, man.
Oh shit. Look at this. Look at this, Mr. Mo. Watch this.
Yeah,
Watch this. This is Bitcoin 2018. This is a green candle right now in the stock market. Look, guys. Look. This is the green candle. 1, 2, 3 red candles prior.
yeah,
And
yeah,
there it is right here. Look. One,
yeah,
two. Well, this was 2 candles prior. We're at this candle. And we're gonna go here.
yeah.
We're,
That's the
we're here,
bounce.
guys.
Yeah,
We're
yeah,
here. That's all we got. We're just doing a little bounce right here before she goes down and does another bounce. Look, a lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high, bottom.
yeah. That's the question. Where are we going to see that bottom for the Dow? The truth is, no one knows what that bottom is. No
Mm-hmm.
one knows what that bottom is. But we could use the technical analysis and as one tool, and understanding the narrative as another tool to say, okay, you know what? We don't know the bottom, but this is the range that we feel comfortable with. This is the
Mm-hmm.
range. And then once you have that, then you can look at a stock and say, you know what? This stock makes sense. This is something that I believe in. I'm going to invest in, and we'll go from there. But Dr. Tal, I will agree with you 100%. Can't say this enough. This is historic times, dude. Historic. It's unbelievable.
All right, we're going to jump into our group trade and we're going to close out the show. So let's jump into our next, which is the one we finished doing, Mr. Mo? Was
Uh,
it Nia was the last one, right?
let me check
No, I think it was TRX.
the
I think it
trading
was
plan. All right,
TRX.
so the last thing that we put inside of the group trading plan was XLM.
Oh, really? It was XLM. Okay.
Yeah.
So the next one is going to be XRP. So we've got 2 more left, XRP and XTZ. So tomorrow we'll cover we're going to cover the last coin in our group trading plan. And right now we're going to look at XRP. We're going to look on, first thing we're going to do is we're going to go to coin market cap. We are going to look at XRP. Is XRP worth the risk? Is she a low market cap coin? Is she a low volume coin? 2 very, very important questions. So where is XRP? She is number 3. She has an $8 billion market cap. Great, she met my market cap. But if I buy this coin and I want to get out, do I have a $100,000 volume where I'm never going to get out of this coin, or it's going to be very difficult for me? Nope. She's got a $2.3 billion market cap. So it's safe to say that if you wanted to exit this coin, you're going to have enough buyers and sellers. You have enough liquidity in this coin to get out. So she meets our requirement. We're going to just take a snapshot of this since I'm here. Okay, I'll save this for later. And we're going to take a look at XRP. XRP, she puts a high in of
Wow.
$3.31. $3.31 comes back down, pretty much gives it all back. She gives it all back, gives you another opportunity to rinse and repeat. Rinse and repeat. Where are we here? So we are inside of here. Now on this particular coin, guys, I put 2 entries. I put 2 entries here just to have, because like I said, I'm not only trading this on the group, but I'm trading this personally, and I have no problem buying this coin at this price here, and then if it drops down to this one, buy it again. I feel confident enough with this coin. So just for the group trading plan, last time I did this and it backfired on me because everybody got really confused when I put 2 prices. I wanted to leave one there and just look, as the price came down, make a judgment call, and that created a lot more work for me. So I'm just going to delete one now so that I don't have people wondering where that entry is. I won't do that again. So we're just going to pick one. So we're going to pick one right here. We're going to pick this one, and I'm going to change this color here. Because a lot of the times, if I'm not sure, guys, I'm just going to put a reminder as it's going down, and then I'll assess the market at that time. That's how I like doing it. But we get just a lot of impatient people sometimes, and they don't want to wait for those alerts to hit off. They just want to know right now, where are we going to buy? What are we going to buy? So fuck it. I'm just going to pick one. And I'm just gonna, yeah, dude. Like right after I finished that, the last time I did that, I was like, "What are we gonna buy? What are we gonna buy?" I'm like, "Oh my god, I just said where. We're gonna wait." Nobody wants to wait, so you guys can pick up. We're gonna pick this entry here, which is our safe entry. Doesn't mean it's not gonna go here, but this will be our safe entry to go in to make sure we have skin in the game. And look, guys, we're not that far off. We're not that far off, which is why for me, this here is a good possibility. This is where I'm gonna be buying personally. If it drops below our entry here. I like both of these two entries. Free position is 29 cents, guys. 29 cents is a free position. Do you understand why I'm so excited about this, guys? Do you understand why I'm so patient of wanting Bitcoin to drop and letting her drop and letting the market structure pretty much direct the narrative? The market structure is telling us. I mean, you look at this weekly, guys. You can't ignore this. You can't ignore that we have a very good chance of coming down into that. Look at this. You can't ignore that. And that gets me very, very excited, because when I see 100%, all I see is money, money, money in both crypto and both my stocks. And all around, guys, all around is just going to put us in a really nice position this time around. So right now, just other targets, guys, just because I like to do this exercise. I like looking at just different targets, different gaps. Just like we follow gaps to the downside, there's gaps to the upside. So let's just take, just for my own amusement, I want to show you some gap ups, and I want to show you some numbers. Taking an entry on that higher position for the group trade, just going to the second gap up, it's 490%. Going to the next gap up, the last gap up is 844, and going to all-time high, and there's no reason why it can't pass it. But again, just based on the data that we have, going to all-time high on XRP, we're looking at 2,182%. That's, guys, man, if that doesn't give you a little man, I'm telling you.
That's that's the concept of, the year 2000, you put $1,000 into Amazon, a decade out, you pull out, 200 grand, $250,000.
Yeah, right there, guys, right there. That's what this equates to. That's what this would equate to. Put $1,000 and you walk out with $218,082. If you're patient, you can just let it do its thing. Wow. If you're patient, that's the game changer that we have. That's the opportunity we have, and there's going to be very rare times and I think in our lifetimes, Mr. Mo, where we have a vehicle like crypto that is going to allow us to make money, and at the same time take the focus away from stocks to allow that to drop, and be able to take the money from crypto and stick it into the stock market. I think that alignment, guys, is a very delicate alignment, and it just happens to fall at this point of our lives. Who knows what the future is going to bring us? Who knows if we're going to get that same alignment? Because if not, imagine you'd have to right now choose. You'd have to choose if we're coming out of the bear market of the stock market, and you're in this position right now, you would have to divide your assets. You would have to take money out of your crypto portfolio to stick it into your stock portfolio, or continue to shovel money into the market and split it up. Here, we're in a unique position. We're going to take money out of this to fund our other investment plan, which is, I think, is sometimes I don't think people are understanding that how amazing that opportunity is for us at this point in our lives. So there's a lot of things to be grateful for right now, guys. A lot of big, fuck it, I'm not going to complain about not going outside no more.
Well, here's the thing. and I know a lot of people are going to identify with this. How many times people go, "The hell are you doing on the computer for so long? You're in front of that thing all day. Keep staring at those damn charts, man. What the hell?" Right? You hear all that. Oh, okay, okay, okay. But come, a couple of years from now, and it's a different story. It's like, remember all that time in front of the computer where you would tell me, "What the hell am I doing in front? Let me show you
Hmm.
something." and
Yep.
there could be the people's revelation of like, "Oh my god." And then when the stock market in 10 years looks toppy again, you're going to have all your friends and family go, "Hey man, what stock should I buy, or what crypto should I buy?" And you'll see the tops. You'll
Yep.
be like, "Okay, yep, that means that there's a top there." And here we go.
That's right. That's right, guys. And it's just so exciting, man. This is just
Yeah.
really exciting. All right, guys. So I'm gonna post this in our group trading plan. Tomorrow we cover XTZ, which will be our last coin. And then, like Mr. Mo said, which I think was a great idea, we're gonna let the market decide what coins we're gonna keep in the trading plan. So whatever coins get filled first in our orders. And if you're new to this, and if you want to participate, because I know we have a lot of new people, basically you're going to take $100. You're going to put $100 on each one of these assets, on 10 assets, and here's your
or
entry
or
right here.
or 10, or the idea being 10% of the portfolio. So if you put a
Yes,
thousand, it's 100. If you put $100, it's $10. That's the
yes,
concept.
yeah, yeah, exactly. So if you want to put, you don't have to put $1,000, but if you want to put less, just take 10% of that, and your entry is already here. I already marked your entry. Once your entry gets filled, your free position is right here. So you just basically fill out a sell form at this for 50% of the coins, and at 29,352, and then you ride this free position all the way up. We don't touch that free position. We just let it ride and ride, and then we take the rest of the money and we diversify it, and we look at other coins. So now we're going to look at mid cap coins, and we're going to diversify into a whole new array of mid cap coins. Then on our next free position, then we're going to go on Discord on you guys' favorite coins, the shit coins, the ones that you guys are always asking me about. We're going to go nuts. We're going to go ham. We're gonna go ham on those. We're gonna go like, yeah, but 100,000 volume. Fuck it, let's go. 5%. We'll put it on that bitch. I'm gonna let you guys go crazy with those shit coins, but not after our third free position. Our third free position, we're gonna go as crazy as you guys want to. Then I won't crush any dreams at all whatsoever. I promise. I promise. But not until our third free position. And trust me, you'll thank me for it. All right, guys, that's going to be the end of our session. Let's take a quick look at Bitcoin real fast here. 12-hour. Let me put my tools back on. 12
And,
hours. Let me
and,
put.
and while you're setting that up, BC, I just want to say this to all our front end people, doctors, nurses, and we have people here in the community that are on the front line. We want to tell you from the bottom of my heart that we appreciate you, that we love you, that we hope that you
Yes.
guys stay safe, that we're going to get through this, that we will overcome this, and that we are going to be better on the other side.
Yep.
So that is to
Amen.
everybody in our community. So we want to emphasize that we love everybody. Everyone, be good. You wrap her up, BC, on
All
the.
right, guys. We are sitting at 68.65, and we are underneath all the EMAs in the 12-hour, guys. Not looking good for the bulls. Let's see if we can get a little bit of blood in here. Maybe our next gap to the downside is at 65.20. Let's see if we can get her there this week, or if we get another bounce. But so far, bears do have control. And yes, and I definitely want to echo Mr. Mo's comments. We appreciate you very, very much, guys. Thank you for everything. I'll be back tomorrow morning, give you guys a morning brief, and then we'll cover our last coin tomorrow, and back at our Zoom session tomorrow at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Good night, everybody.
Take care, guys. Have a good one. Be safe. Wash those hands.
You're very welcome, Mike, old school. Thank you very much. Rick, Thank you, Dr. Tao. Thank you, baby boy. That's our nurse in the house. Our nurse in the house. Thank you. Thank you. Who else was Sniper? Alex, my Russian compadre. That's my Russian compadre. Texas, have a good one, my man. GQ, have a good one, brother. All right, I am out.